Hello and welcome to Faith and Testimonies. If you enjoy our content, please hit subscribe and like. That really helps us keep bringing you more inspiring stories. And don't forget, you can also listen to these teachings as an audio podcast whenever you're on the go. Today we're diving into the amazing life of Jonah, an ordinary man whom God called to an extraordinary mission. Over the next few minutes, we'll see how his disobedience led him into a raging storm, how divine mercy rescued him, and how he ultimately learned to follow God's voice. Get comfortable, because Jonah's story reminds us that no matter how far we run, God's love and purpose will always find us. Jonah, son of Amittai, was born and raised in Joppa, a humble port town on Israel's Mediterranean coast. His father, Amittai, fashioned fishing nets. His mother taught him to pray each morning and evening. His two younger brothers looked up to him as a man of sincere faith. From a young age, Jonah felt the gentle whisper of God in the stillness of dawn, filling him with peace and purpose. One day, while Jonah prayed in the temple courtyard, God's presence became unmistakably real. "Jonah," the Lord said, "arise and go to Nineveh, the great city, and proclaim against it, for its wickedness has come before me." Jonah chapter 1, verse 2. Nineveh was the bustling capital of the Assyrian Empire, powerful, wealthy, and steeped in injustice. Yet God chose Jonah, a simple man from Joppa, to warn its people. Fear and doubt gripped Jonah's heart. "How can I face a city of strangers?" he wondered. Rather than obey, he ran, purchasing a ticket on a ship bound for Tarshish, the farthest corner of the Mediterranean. He swapped his sandals for coins and sailed away, hoping distance would silence God's call. But as the ship pulled away, the sea reflected Jonah's inner turmoil. Each crashing wave whispered that you can't outrun God's plan. On deck, sailors eyed him curiously, sensing more than met the eye. Yet Jonah kept his head low, pretending to be just another traveler, unaware that a storm was brewing, one that would change everything. Without warning, the sky turned black, and the wind roared like a lion. Towering waves smashed the ship, and seasoned sailors felt fear for the first time. Lightning illuminated their panicked faces as the vessel groaned under the assault. Jonah, overcome with guilt, fell to his knees. The crew cast lots to find the cause of the storm, and the lot fell on him. "It is because of you that this storm rages," they cried, dragging him toward the rail. With trembling lips, Jonah whispered, "Forgive me, Lord," and plunged into the churning sea. Immediately, the wind stilled and the waves calmed. But rescue came in a surprising way. God appointed a great fish to swallow Jonah whole. Picture utter darkness, water pressing in on every side, seaweed brushing against you, with only your heartbeat as a companion. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah sat in that living prison. In the silence, his heart broke open. He thought of his family and Joppa, his mother's prayers, his father's nets left unused. Overwhelmed, he cried out in a sincere prayer, "In my distress I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From the depths I called for help, and you listened to my cry." Jonah 2, 2 and 3. At that moment, Jonah realized that true freedom comes not from running, but from trusting God's plan. His pride and fear gave way to humble repentance, and God heard him. On the 3rd day, the fish released Jonah onto the shore of Nineveh. Shivering and weary, covered in seaweed, he stood up renewed like a man reborn. He had learned that fleeing God's purpose only leads to pain. With steady steps, he entered the city and climbed a stone platform in the central square. Raising his voice, he proclaimed, 40 days more, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. The people froze in silence. Who was this stranger speaking of judgment from the God of Israel? Yet his conviction stirred their hearts. The king himself declared a citywide fast. Rich and poor alike donned sackcloth and ashes. Together they prayed, "Who knows? God may yet relent and turn from his fierce anger, so that we shall not perish." Jonah 3:9. Moved by genuine repentance, God withheld the devastation he had threatened. Mercy triumphed over judgment. Key takeaways for your life. Obedience is an act of trust. It aligns us with God's greater purpose. True repentance transforms. Admitting our mistakes opens the door to restoration. Mercy overcomes judgment. Just as God showed compassion, we too can bring hope to others. Call to action. What areas of your life are you running from? Today, stop, pray, and hand your fears over to God. Like Jonah, you can rise from your own storms. Thank you for watching Faith and Testimonies. If Jonah's journey spoke to you, please subscribe, like, and share this video. Your support helps us create more content like this. And remember, you can tune into these teachings as an audio podcast wherever you are. Let Jonah's story remind you, no matter how far you run, God's love will always find you. Leave a comment telling us which lesson resonated most with you. We'll see you next time. God bless.